Officer on deck. Stand easy. Where were we? We're in Egypt, aren't we? We are going through loads of reasons why the Egyptians had absolutely nothing to do with the pyramids. It's common sense. I know you don't like it. Egyptology. You know, people major in this. People major in Egyptology. Clap. Huh? How about that? Land and Lives of the Pharaohs revealed. Price revealed? $79.95. The treasures of the pharaohs. Yeah. Pyramids. Because obviously the main attraction is the pyramids. But as I mentioned earlier, there is no explanation, people, for even one stone. Right? Now, we're here again, aren't we? We're here again. This is all of these things that are operating with the speed of light. But there's no actual, right, this did this mirror spun that many times, which means that was 100,000 Ks per second. And then what we did, we multiplied it by 2 because of this mirror here. It's not anywhere to be found, right? And the sun, forget it. There is no equation anywhere that shows a proper breakdown. You can't really time something that you can't keep up with, can you? Right? So there's no direct method. Let's leave the sun. We're talking about this absurdity now. Look. First of all, I don't have any qualifications. But if I did, I would probably come up with something like the pyramid stones were lifted up with water, right? They had ramps, and the water lifted floats, and the floats were going around the 2.5 ton stones. I'm not sure about the 60-ton granite blocks, but anyway, water, right? Because that's what the folk with qualifications, that's what they think, right? And the ramps going up on the outside as the pyramid was growing. The ramps would be just as difficult as building the pyramid, wouldn't it? A ramp going around the sides of a pyramid. Listen, these things are impossible. But, first of all, an explanation for the first stone. It has to be a logical explanation. You can't go on to do loads of theories. It's like this place is turning into the Twilight Zone, right? There's no evidence. There is no explanation for how even one stone was carved out of any quarry using just copper hand tools. Can we not understand this? All of these people that come up with these theories, you know what they should do? The first thing they should do is go, right, let me show you how they did the first stone. And they should get their asses down to some quarry. They can use stainless steel, right? But just hand tools, and see how they go getting just one stone out of any rock face, right? With the hand tools, right? Now this is a fact. Without an explanation, this is a slam dunk here, right? This is a closed case. Without an explanation for how the first stone, or any stone, was carved out of any quarry wall, how can you carry on? The Egyptians had nothing to do with the pyramids. It's so obvious. It hurts. It really hurts. Now, we've got 37 tons an hour right? That's 37 tons an hour. That's half a ton every half an hour is 30. Is so we've got another. You cannot even come close to considering this a possibility, right? This is the sun taking 4.6 seconds to radiate light, the distance to its diameter, or the solar Parker probe touching the sun, getting to within 4.5 sun diameters of the sun. Are people thinking here? Am I the only one here that sees all this stuff? Obviously I am, right? It's ridiculous. The things are ridiculous. The things that people are believing are ridiculous. It's a fact, right? It makes no sense. They did not build the pyramids. And all of these people, this guy on YouTube, right? I'm a stonemason. I say we can do it. I could do it. What are you talking about? One stone. You don't need to do the whole pyramid, mate. Just one stone. You'll be there for the rest of your life trying to get it out of that quarry wall with copper hand tools. You won't get one out. It doesn't matter if there's 500 of you. You are not cutting any stone out of anywhere with just copper hand tools. Is that too difficult to understand? It obviously is, because there's about, I don't know how many theories on how the pyramids were built. You cannot move forward without the first step, because without the first step, you don't know how it was made, right? About how they got on, off and on boats, how they sprinkled water onto the sand to make them shimmy across, right? All of this stuff. Oh, they have a new theory now. That's what comes up online, isn't it? Oh, scientists have a new theory. Can we go back to this? And obviously to the pyramids themselves, because they are ancient. They are beyond ancient. 4,500 years ago, they look like they do now. There wouldn't have been any change, hardly. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know what people are seeing. But the Egyptians had absolutely nothing to do with building the pyramids. Right. This here, it's a Nimitz class aircraft carrier. Right? A Nimitz class aircraft carrier weighs 101,000 tons. This picture is compliments of Andrew down at the Garrick's Camera House in Bundy. No job too small, no job too big. Go down there with your phone and get some really good shots. How about that for plugging somebody? And you didn't ask me to plug him. Look at this, right? Pyramid Giza on its own weighs the equivalent of 65 of these. 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers. Now, you tell this to people, right? Some of them go, oh, I didn't know that. But others go, yeah, no, still doable, still doable. They're slaves, there was loads of them. What? Listen, 6.5 million tons divided by one, we call it 100,000, is 65 of these aircraft carriers, fully loaded with ammunition and fuel, all of the planes, and a crew of, I think it's 5,500 or 6,000. The Egyptians did not build the pyramids, all right? It's a slam dunk. They say up and down the River Nile. Can you imagine one of these aircraft carriers going up and down the River Nile, all right? Can you imagine it? Now imagine that aircraft carrier right there, and it's got to take in pieces another 64 carriers up and down the Nile. Can you imagine the little boats that they had with 65 of these cut up into pieces. It's an actual aircraft carrier. This was the biggest of its kind. I've actually been on this, the USS Nimitz. Look, it's a proper aircraft carrier with proper aeroplanes. It's heavy. 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers. I'd like to see 1,000 men drag that anchor across the desert, let alone 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers. When I say common sense, it's about common sense yet again, right? People are just presuming again. Oh, no, they must have done it. They must have done it because, why? Because everybody else is presuming? Because nobody's questioning anything? The amount of money in this pyramid thing, the amount of money for Egypt. Listen, I am just stating the facts. You cannot claim something that if the numbers don't add up, the numbers just don't add up. And the numbers clearly don't add up. We've got 1 + 1 equals 83,1205. This is an impossibility, right? So everybody that keeps arguing through this, well, who was it? Was it the aliens? I can't see any aliens anywhere, right? But what there are is other pyramids around the planet, and there are megaliths everywhere, right? Unexplained, hundreds of tons of cut rock everywhere, all over the planet. What does it look like? If we use our common sense, what do we think now? Put the circle through the round hole, don't we? Right? There's megaliths all over the planet, strewn out all over the planet. Right? Massive rocks that are unexplained. Now, who would do something like that? Aliens. Why would aliens be so handy with rock? You know, where did they learn that skill? It's got to be a civilization that predates everything we know, because the pyramids are hundreds of thousands of years old. Don't worry, we'll get into that. It's obvious, right? It couldn't be more obvious. It's that thing where people have been taught from a young age, bang, 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 and now it's, well, the Egyptians. I'll tell you what, it's not the Egyptians. They have nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. Impossible. 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers. There's no explanation, no logical explanation for how even one stone was cut out of any quarry, limestone quarry with copper hand tools. Not a logical answer for one. Now, what we're looking for is 37 tons an hour. Alexa, what's 37 divided by 2.5? 14?
37
15?
divided by 2.5 is 14.8.
14.8, right? Every hour, 14.8 2.5 ton stones. Hey, Abdul, hey, let's go. Hey, yes? Hey. It's impossible. It's impossible, okay? It's just impossible. So we're going to leave that there, and then we'll go on to some more common sense. No qualifications needed. No qualifications needed, right? But those that do have the qualifications, well, the theory about the ones where the water lifts the stones up? Qualified folk, degrees and PhDs and stuff. Water lifted pyramid stones up to the top. They had like a ramp system. The water was lifting 2.5 ton stones up. But they had floats around the stones. So like when you throw a baby in the pool and the float keeps them up, like that, all the way to the top. Or not to the top, as it was going up. Don't ask. I don't know, how? But people believe it. People believe it. This is your 4.6 seconds for the sun to radiate light, the distance of its diameter. This is your solar probe touching the sun. Here it is again, right? Theories. Loads and loads of theories that make no sense. Without an explanation for even the first stone. People, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. Okay? We'll be back. We'll be back. Someone's got to do this.